How cool has it been, just the progress you've made since you've gotten here? I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, no, it's been gratifying coming through, and 2018 was a lot for me personally, just in life to get used to, and I think I said that to you in the past as well. But just in general, this past year, last year, and this year especially, just feel more comfortable in my own shoes. I know the job I'm here to do. I know what's required of me, and just having that sort of clarity mentally about the game has helped me a lot take that next step. So I think more than anything, just getting comfortable over time has really helped me sort of start kicking more consistently and take my game to the next level.
What kind of personal growth did you experience because of COVID? Because you haven't made it back to Australia, I don't think.
No, right. So I haven't been home since 2019 now, so going on 2 years. I grew up quick here as a freshman in 2018, but these past 2 years being in America have seen me develop personally a lot and stuff, and I've become more mature and had to look at things from a different perspective, which is never a bad thing, I don't think. It's been a hard year for myself, just as it has been for everyone, I'm pretty sure. I definitely wish I could have gone home at some point, but I wouldn't change it in the aspect that I'm a more complete person now, and I've grown through that time and through those challenges of not seeing family and stuff, and I think for the better.
With how isolated you were last year, especially with being a specialist on top of that.
Absolutely.
Looking through your Instagram, looks like that you were able to travel around the U.S. a little bit this summer and get out. Like how much did you need that?
Oh, more than anything. We get a couple of weeks here and there off from the team, and I can't go home or anything. It's not possible financially and logistically. So I have a few friends, most of them from punting, that I've trained with around America, and with that time off I made the most of it, and I've seen a bit of the country as well as catching up with some old friends, which has done me the world of good mentally, coming away and sort of just kicking with other guys, and for me, as punting concerns, different punters always see different things in your technique, so having other eyes to lean on has helped me as far as my kicking's concerned.
Right.
And then mentally as well, just sort of freeing me up and getting out of town has been good and whatnot. So
when did you start planning that out? Like, did you know you were just going to have like a good summer of travel and being able to?
Yeah, it just came about that way.
Yeah.
Through COVID and not being able to go home, one of my former teammates, he's not at Oregon anymore, but he's become like a brother to me, and his family lives in Florida. And through the whole pandemic, I've spent a lot of time down there, and that relationship and that friendship has grown tremendously. So in aspects like that, I'm really grateful, but it just kind of materialized. And like I said, we have about 7 to 10 days off here and there, and I just was looking at it, and I could make work what I made work, so made the most of it.
Do you have a favorite place that you've...
No, I've learned that America's pretty diverse. It's really interesting like that. Everywhere you go is a bit different in one way or another. But I like parts about every place. I like the food everywhere. It's all different. It's all unique. And again, coming back to it, as hard as it's been not being able to go home, I'm grateful for those experiences and seeing the country and traveling around and sort of making the most of it, I guess.
I think Mario was talking about how your recruiting process was kind of over Skype because you weren't able to make it out here.
Yeah.
Especially as a specialist and also being from Australia, how was your recruiting process maybe different from some of your teammates?
Yeah, it was crazy in hindsight. Just in general, the recruitment process from a broad college perspective, it's very different coming through Pro Kick Australia, the program I trained with back home. You're never going to have, you have all these athletes in America through high school that have 20 offers, 30 offers, 40 offers. It doesn't work like that. So it's different in that side of things. You're sort of just training and hoping for an opportunity alone, and if that presents itself, people normally take it. And then as far as Oregon was concerned, it materialized really quickly for me. I think, this is going back 3 or 4 years, but it was a pretty late recruitment. Like I started speaking to coaches March, April of that year, and I was here in July. So it really kind of happened bang bang, and I didn't really know what was going on in the moment, but I sort of just took it and ran with it. And like I said, my freshman year was a lot, but I'm here now, and I couldn't be more thankful and grateful for how everything sort of worked out.
Do you know how you got on Oregon's radar? Did they ever kind of make that apparent to you?
As far as that's concerned, I don't know specifically. I know my coach at Pro Kick Australia, Coach Nathan Chapman, and Coach Bobby Williams, they were an old connection. They had worked together previously, or they were friends from previous times, and I think that relationship maybe is what started the conversation, but I don't know specifically what they were looking for or why they came and chose me out of everyone else.
Anything about America that surprised you, or anything unexpected, and what would be the most surprising?
No, I came over here with an open mind. I know, I knew that university in general was going to be a whole experience, and being in America in general was going to be a whole experience, and then playing football as well is going to be a whole experience, and all those three things combined, definitely I've had a lot to get used to. But I wouldn't say there's any one thing that surprised me. I was expecting a lot of different things, and I'm pretty used to the life over here now, so it's not too different for me, I guess, at this point.
Has the independence and just the personal maturation you've had to undergo helped you with punting? Because it is kind of a isolated role.
I would say so. Yeah, as I was saying, a few minutes prior, I've had to grow up the last few years, especially just with the situation, and I think punting is a really weird role. It's a very different position to many of the guys on the team, and in aspects you're pretty isolated back there. You're at times 13, 14 yards away from anyone else on the field. So I think those two things kind of go in hand, and as far as the position that I play is concerned, and how it's you're part of the same team, but yet my position is very different to the requirements of a receiver or a defensive back. I think that again is tied into the independence, and I sort of just take it on, and I look forward to the opportunity, but I embrace the fact that it is a different role, and I try and make the most of it in that aspect.
Have you gotten used to the live rush? I know that was something you didn't have any experience with before. You still sometimes freak out when you see something come at you full blow like that?
Not as much, no. I know what to prepare for now, and in the week leading up to a game, I'm a lot more comfortable back there, whether it's practice or games, and leading into games now as well. I know I have a better understanding of how to scout and how to watch film, so I'm prepared at what looks are in front of me on Saturdays. So in general, I think I have my head around it a whole lot better, which is good.
Once you punt the ball, you're a defensive player. Have you relish that role? Do you have, and are you like the final safety? Is that your civic role in the?
Yeah. I mean, officially, I don't know what it is on paper as far as like final safety. I think I'm the last line of defense, or I'm certainly supposed to be when covering. But yeah, I take that stuff personally. I don't want any return yards. So if something was to pop up and break out in that split second, I'm going to be pretty annoyed about it. Obviously, that's not how the play is supposed to be designed or how it's supposed to go. So I take pride in covering as a unit and individually as well. I don't want anything to get past me, just in general. So I try and take a lot of pride in it as well, for sure.
What were some of the things when you did first come over that were challenging for you individually, culturally, whatever it was? I know you've adapted now, but I'm just curious about that experience for you.
Honestly, mate, everything. Like life in general, driving on the other side of the road, college, mannerisms, just in day-to-day communication, like phrases that I would say where everyone would kind of look at me like I had 3 heads on my shoulders. I just had to get used to those kind of small things that you guys, I'm sure, would all take for granted just living here and stuff. So there's no real big things. Like I wouldn't say it's one thing over another. It was just getting used to society in a different country in a broad spectrum of ways.
What role have your teammates played in that for you?
A huge amount. When I came in, we had a pretty old specialist room, which was good. A lot of those guys took me under their wing and just sort of showed me the ropes and stuff. And today now and stuff, we have a more younger team, or a younger sided team, and those guys still put a smile on my face when I come in and make me excited about the day every day. And at the same time, there's still some random questions here or there that I have for guys, like, hey, is this normal, or is this how you guys do things? And the younger generations have helped me sort of understanding stuff from that angle too. So they've helped a lot.
Rewinding a little bit back to Columbus, that in a game that close, you had some really big kicks that impacted the game. Camden has a lot of crowd noise to deal with, but it's not like they're getting any quieter for you. What was it like kicking in that atmosphere?
It was surreal. It really was. Since I signed at Oregon, obviously, the non-conference schedules are released years in advance, and I'd always had this one circled on my calendar. So it was a surreal experience, all in all. We were all anticipating a big environment, and it certainly lived up to that. As far as each punt, it was a unique amount of energy, even more so probably because last year we didn't have any fans. So fans alone at home were one thing to get used to, but on the road when it's a hostile environment, it was, it took probably a punt or two just to get comfortable out there in that atmosphere. But I embrace it. I like it. The away fans are never happy or I guess they're really excited when the opposing team comes on to kick, and I'm always trying to make them unhappy about it in one way or another. So I just try and embrace it.
This will be the dumbest question you get today, but when's the last time you played kickball?
Kickball?
Yeah. And is the best part of like being able to kick something further than like 99% of the population, like being able to like drop into like random things like that?
Yeah. It has its ups and downs. As far as kickball is concerned, it's a long time for me.
Okay.
The sport I played at home in Australia, which I don't know if you're trying to refer to, was footy. It's been a few years since I played that now, but it's been a long time since I played kickball. As far as kicking things, yeah, it's a different. I don't even know how to put it into words. It's a really different perspective on things. The specialists always kind of joke about it, but as soon as we get given a bunch of balls of practice, all we care about is the condition and the feel of it, and everyone else they just throw it around and they won't think twice. So as far as our whole mindset, it's very different to a standard football player, I think I come at it as well sometimes looking at things like, hey, I could kick that further than this bloke, or I can kick it further than that ball. So it is a different perspective in life, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Did any of your teammates try to imitate your accent? And who was the best and who was the worst?
One of the best ones was Troy Dye. He always made me crack up. That's the way he is, though. Everything he does is trying to make people laugh. But he had a really good accent back in 18 and 19. And as I was saying, obviously now the teams are on the younger side, and a lot of the new guys have sort of heard it for the first time in their lives. I don't know if they've ever seen an Australian before. So even like this year, just in camp and getting to know the new guys, they were still giving me a few phrases and quotes here and there. So it's funny. I understand it. It's part of my situation, and I'm just trying to embrace it, I guess, at this point.
Mario kind of talked about you having to adapt to a two-step approach and get used to a few technical things when you got here. How difficult was it to get used to all that? And
it was a lot to take in. I think it kind of went hand in hand with the adjustments I had to make in life as well back in 2018 as a true freshman. As I said, I had just a lot to get used to, and when I was trying to deal with kicking and punting technique-wise, my efforts at training were also diminished somewhat just because of the stress I was dealing with in life and getting set up in college and getting used to everything else that comes with it. So it was a lot for me to take in, but now having been here 2, 3, 4 years and getting more comfortable on the life and the college side of things, it's helped me refine it even further and sort of put more time and focus into that, which has been good.
Are there statistical markers that you take from a game? Like, do you define success? Do you use it? What do you look at a box score? After a game?
The biggest one I'm concerned with would be return yards. I don't want return yards. Every returner we have in this conference is fast as heck and is one of the best athletes on the field every time. So each game, my biggest concern is probably the return aspect and just trying to eliminate that potential from the opposition's game plan. But as far as tangible statistics, I'm not. I don't have anything in my head. I just want to help the team win and then put the defense in as good a position as they can be in each time.